Thank you, guys. I'm going to be performing 2 poems today, or tonight. The first is called Skeleton. The doctor says there is something wrong with my skeleton. He says this as he bends my arm behind my back, smiling as my shoulder cracks. You see, your joints are very pliable. They allow for more stretching than they should. I can even twist your elbows, your wrists and elbows, and he does this just because he could. Farther than they're supposed to go. He continues, muttering under his breath something about hyperflexibility. I am not surprised. I nod knowingly. I want to tell him about the way I pack my parts to avoid the sharp edges of others' perception in the bubble I am living in. How I bend over backwards to meet the dimple in the boy's smile. How I bend over backwards to avoid the flicker in their frowns. How I contort my own mouth to grin and grit my teeth, which I forget are also bones, unfortunately. I want to tell him about the way I rearrange the organs in my body to appear less womanly, because feminine can look like sin in the eyes of a beholder not looking for beauty. I want to tell him about how I broke myself into pieces to find peace, and from it started a civil war. You see, the way my knees give in is very reliable. I will bow and bend all 206 to fit in a box for my next magic trick. I am a cowardly Houdini. I am an acrobat with anxiety. The doctor says there is something wrong with my skeleton. I am sitting in front of him because I can't bear to tell Baba that a boy broke my heart, so I'll tell him that I might have broken a bone instead. And when I tell the doctor that it has always been like this, that I've always been able to bend myself willingly, he is not surprised. He nods knowingly. Thank you. This next piece is called Flora. I swear you're made of flowers. I swear if I cut you open, inside you'd be chrysanthemums. I swear you've got roses on your tongue. I swear you've got daisies for ribs and tulips instead of lips. You have orchids where ears were. You've got me made of flowers too. Yesterday I found carnations in my collarbones and baby's breath between my fingers. Took a look at my thighs and to my surprise found lavender. You make me feel like Mother Nature herself. Like you awoke her inside of me and now I'm raging with lust for the earth. I've got grass instead of hair and hibiscus for hips. There are morning glories in my morning coffee and daffodils in my daydreams. I was always one for florals, but you've got me gazing at gardens now because there's something there that I recognize, because there's something there that looks like my insides, gardenias instead of gums, lilac in my lungs, stomach filled with butterflies. I know we'll thrive together. Our vines have already intertwined, and you say the thorns in my mind don't bother you. I know we'll grow like weeds do. And when the precipitation comes, don't worry about it, love. We can always make a desert flower or two, and cacti always seem to me like pretty growth. And when the sun comes up, we'll bask in its glow. Let the sunflowers in our chests open wide with electric yellow. We'll bloom like roses after winter. Shy in the light, a shade of red so bright, passerbys' eyes would go fuzzy if they looked at us too long. And the rain and the snow will all seem like a fever dream, because we grew a love that's evergreen. Thank you.